So we're still carrying on with our recap from match week 21, the games that happened in midweek. And without wasting much time, Victor, how much of a surprise was it to see Crystal Palace and Aston Villa play out to a goalless draw?
I for one did not really see this coming, and I don't think anybody really did. Not necessarily because Villa have been so very good, although they have been, but Palace have been very poor lately. Actually, you know what was the last time they won a game in any competition? It was almost a month ago, December 12th, Shelburne away in the Conference League.
Wow.
And it's disappointing for Villa. They could have gone second, 4 points behind Arsenal. I was expecting more specifically from Watkins and McGinn in this one, but you could tell just how much of a toll this schedule has been taking. Thankfully, now after the FA Cup third round, like everyone else, they're going to have a whole week to rest up. But then it's go, go, go once again, and it's not going to get easier.
Yeah, fair enough. And over to you, Mark. Wolves are now unbeaten in their last three Premier League games, and some of their fans on social media are saying, "Oh, they can pull off a miracle between now and the end of the season." But the question here is, how many points do you think realistically they can rack up between now and the end of the season, and would it matter in whether they get doomed from relegation or not?
Yeah, somehow they managed to be in ninth best team at the moment in terms of form in last three games. And this is probably what Wolves fans should be saying to everybody. But I looked at their schedule and I don't really see even a single game that they can win. So I ended up counting like maybe 6 or 7 points. So I'd say they're not gonna end the season like a worst team in history, but they're definitely gonna be out and definitely a last place.
Hmm, Interesting. Fair enough. And back to you, Victor. How much of an impact did City's 1-1 draw with Brighton have on the title race?
None whatsoever, as it turns out, right? Okay, City dominated, that much is clear, and we expected that, but they will certainly feel like they missed a trick here, especially against Brighton. I think Hertzler's whole season has been a tale of, well, that could have gone better. And you would expect City to beat a team like that. So Guardiola stays 6 points behind Arteta, which feels absolutely dystopian to say. It's not a lot, especially with City's history of winning runs from February or so onwards, but it's not exactly ideal. I think we're going to have a better idea about City's chances of catching Arsenal after they visit Anfield next month.
Yeah, fair enough. And over to London, Max. 10-man Chelsea lost to Fulham by a 2-1 scoreline. And they continue their recent poor run of form. Now, the question is, do you think Chelsea will suffer a lot on the pitch in the aftermath of Maresca's sacking and Rosinier's appointment?
I at least hope they're not going to be sent in off again and again on the new coach because it's been like a meme game throughout all season. But for the new manager, I feel like he has a pretty easy schedule for him to start with the club, except Arsenal and Chelsea game, but they're at least playing at home. So there's like Charlton, Brentford at home, then Paphos at home, and then Crystal Palace on road. It feels like they gotta win at least 4 of that games and probably draw with Arsenal. So I'd say if they can get a decent result out of these 5 games, they will have a bit of morale boost and they will be probably somewhere around 5th place for the UCL. But if they can't win at least 3 of them, then there will be a deep trouble.
Fair enough. And back to you, Victor, on the final note for this video. How much of a relief must it be for Nottingham Forest, who finally won their first game in 5 league outings after a 2-1 win over West Ham?
You could almost hear the cheeks puff through the telly at the final whistle, a whole collective.
Yeah,
Forest's problem is that the next two Prem games are against Arsenal and Brentford. So it kind of feels like a bit of a false dawn at the moment. And West Ham are playing Spurs and Sunderland. Right now, there's 7 points between Forest and West Ham, with the relegation line in between. If after these two match days, that difference goes down to 3 points or so, it will get dicey again for Deitch. But on a related note, we probably need to start putting West Ham in the same category as Burnley, not talked about enough how terrible they are just because there's someone worse. It's not a nice conversation to be a part of.
Yeah, fair enough. Exactly. Just as bad as Burnley, but they're not being talked about enough. But anyways, things are also eating up at the bottom of the table, if you would like to call it, because a lot can still happen between now and the end of the season, and we'll have to wait and see how all that unfolds. But yeah, these were the best talking points for round 21 in midweek. And this weekend, it will be the FA Cup, so there's no Premier League action this time around. But of course, we'll still be here to give all the best talking points, all the best transfer updates as they come.